We are live.
Yeah, but वो तो हो नहीं रहा.
It's okay. Hold on
It's
one
not
second.
letting me. Okay.
All right. Hello, friends.
Hello,
We are
hello.
live. And look, I have my special guest back. This is Minnie back. So excited to have her. So, if you guys have been following our journeys for a while, my name is Dr. Simran, and I am a lifestyle medicine physician, coach, BRCA1 previvor mom, and so much more. And this is my mom, Minnie, who is a two-time breast cancer survivor. She's an entrepreneur. She's my hero. And she's also got certification in plant-based nutrition. And collectively, over the last 10 years, we have had our own experiences as patients. We've just transformed our own lifestyle, and we have supported so many women over the last 10 years, everywhere from women who have had cancer to women who have had metabolic health issues to women who have autoimmune disease. So between the two of us, we are here, and one of our passions is to share how easy and fun and nutritious plant-based cooking can be. So if you're new around here, we do this every Wednesday. And if you have been here for a while, welcome back. And today we're live streaming on multiple platforms. Go ahead, Min. Woo woo. We did
Woohoo!
it.
I know this is new for me. It's
So
totally
we
new
are
for me.
We are live streaming on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. So if you're new here, please drop us a comment. Tell us where you're from. Tell us what brought you here, how you found us. And if you've been here before, just say hi. Um, so
Can you hear
yesterday,
me?
yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
But I okay.
You don't need to hear yourself on Instagram. So just come back to StreamYard. That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're good. So yesterday kicked off Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's October 1st. And so this month you're going to be hearing about all things breast cancer awareness. And, what we really believe in is not just awareness, but taking it to the next level of breast cancer risk reduction or awareness to action against breast cancer. And so I think this month, what we're going to focus on when we're in the kitchen is talking about different foods that we can eat that will help us reduce our risk of not just breast cancer, but multiple chronic illnesses. So today, what I thought I'd do, and I also have a great update for you guys, because every time I go live on Wednesday and I'm cooking all these recipes, everyone always messages me afterwards asking me for the recipe, and I am just one person. I don't have anyone behind the scenes who's doing all of my social media and my, all the things. I do everything, and so sometimes it's a lot to post out the recipes. But what I decided to do is, because I have a really amazing collaboration with a nutritionist and access to thousands of recipes, I'm going to start using those recipes. And the cool thing is, they're already printed out. So after this live, if you are watching live or if you are watching the replay, drop a comment in Instagram with the word tofu, and I will send you this recipe. So today what we are making is a curried tofu egg salad, and we are going to talk all about soy and health benefits of soy, and also common misconceptions. So
Between you and me, I think we created in 2020 many recipes for soy.
my iPad just fell. Okay, sorry. Say that again, Min.
I said in 2020 we created that soy, like more than 40 recipes for soy, for
I
tofu.
know. So, yeah, I mean, between my mom and I, we have a lot of recipes. I think the challenge is just, writing them out and sharing them and all of that. I think our goal one day is to um, write a recipe book, which I know we will. When, I don't know, but I know we will. So, this recipe is super, super simple. It's one of those like everyday lunch recipes. It's literally less than like 10 ingredients. And before we started, I just kind of chopped up the veggies. Now, if you know me, I'm usually someone that never cooks just one portion of a recipe, but today I actually am just cooking one portion because I don't have enough ingredients. So
That's the
we're
challenge
gonna,
I'm having with my another thing I'm doing right now for a I'm doing individual portions for this company and making individual portions, and that is a challenge for me because I
yeah.
always make big portions, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, I mean, what you're doing is a little different, but I think um, from a like cooking for a family, if you are a busy mom cooking for a family, it makes a lot of sense to make 2 or 3 times the recipe so that you have leftovers for a meal the next day, you have leftovers for lunch, and if you don't even want to eat it the next day, you just take it and you put it in a container and freeze it, and so you have a meal for the following week or a couple of weeks from now when you have a really busy day and you don't have time to cook. So not only is that going to be good for your health, but it's also going to save you money because then you're not going to be running to the restaurant trying to figure out what's for dinner. So anyway, so this recipe is super simple. It's basically got, and this part, like however you like your egg salad, the egg part is going to be replaced by crumbled tofu in this case. But whatever you like in your egg salad, you can put. So in here, I put minced onion, red onion. I put some Persian cucumber, and then I put diced celery. And then I'm also going
Celery
to
tastes
add,
very good in the egg salad, right?
yep. And then we're also going to add capers. We're going to
Ooh,
add Dijon mustard. And I'm going to add, sriracha, but you don't have to. And then, of course, we have curry powder, salt to taste. And you can add vegan mayonnaise, but I'm going to add hummus just because I don't really feel like adding mayonnaise. I also don't have any. So there's that. So we're gonna add all of that, and then we're gonna add let's see, we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of capers. So let's talk a little bit about soy, Min.
yeah. You want to share what are the health benefit of soy? Because being a two-time breast cancer survivor, when I'm talking to lot, I help a lot of South Asian women, and when I talk to them about soy, they say, "Oh no, it has a breast cancer risk." So if you can clarify that question, why soy is important, what are the health benefit for soy for overall, and then we can take it to breast cancer as well or heart.
Yeah, for sure. So soy is a legume. So it comes from the legume family, meaning, think about lentils, beans. That's the family it comes from. Okay. And it has been used for like centuries and centuries in Southeast Asian cooking. So think about China, Japan, that part of the world. It's been used for centuries and centuries. It is an incredible plant-based protein. It's got all of your essential amino acids, meaning the essential building blocks of protein that you need to get from your food, right? Soy comes in different forms. So this is something known as tofu. It's a minimally processed form of soy, and you can also get whole soybeans. You can get edamame, which is the baby version of soybeans. You can get it in tempeh, miso. Those are fermented sources of soy, and Early on, decades ago, the early science was done in mice. And we found out that mice don't actually metabolize soy the same as humans do. So now we have hundreds and hundreds of studies in humans showing that there's a lot of benefits to soy for our health. So soy not only is a really good source of protein, but it's a really, really good source of fiber, right? And for heart health. We know it's super, super important for gut health. We know it's super important for breast cancer risk reduction. Um, it's also got, tons of vitamins and minerals, things like iron and magnesium and calcium. So it's really good for your bones. When it comes to the special part of soy, it's got something in there which is known as a phytoestrogen. And this is where all the confusion has come all these years, because people hear the word estrogen and they think, oh, it's bad for me. It's bad for breast cancer. But what we actually found out is the way human estrogen works in our body and the way phytoestrogens or plant estrogens work in our body is very, very different. So, phytoestrogens in our body actually work like tamoxifen. Have you heard of tamoxifen before?
Yeah,
Well,
I didn't
tamoxifen is a
take
drug.
tamoxifen. I know it's a drug, but I didn't take it when I went through chemotherapy. But after that, they didn't give me tamoxifen. A lot of my
Right.
friends were
I
on
mean,
tamoxifen.
yeah, I mean, back when you had your breast cancer, many, many years ago, the first time you were 33, and the recommendations at that time were different. But nowadays, most women, especially if they have hormone positive cancers, they're actually given a drug called tamoxifen for anywhere from 5 to 10 years after they're done chemotherapy or surgery or whatever it is. And what tamoxifen is, the best way to think about it is actually an estrogen blocker in our body, right? It's an anti-estrogen. That's what it does. Hi, Timmy. Hi, Timmy. So
So,
in our body, it's an anti-estrogen, and that's exactly how soy works. In our body, plant estrogens work as an anti-estrogen. So they actually take up the space in the estrogen receptor and they block human estrogen. And so
okay,
it actually reduces our risk of having breast cancer, and it reduces our risk of having a breast cancer recurrence. And this has been shown in human studies that it actually works very similar and effectively as tamoxifen. And, for young girls, there's studies showing that, young girls who consume whole food sources of soy regularly before puberty actually have a decreased risk of breast cancer as they become adults. So
oh
it's pretty
really?
phenomenal when you think about breast cancer risk reduction. There's a lot of benefit when you're eating plant estrogens or soy.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
So it's a complete opposite of what most people think. But the
Yeah,
problem
I
is
myself with that myth I lived for many many years. Oh my God,
sorry,
Simran,
my
your iPad is giving you trouble today. So
yeah.
I live with the myth, Simran, myself. I got my cancer at age 33 in 2002, and I lived with this myth that tofu, soy is bad for you. So I didn't take tofu. I don't know when I started, but in a very little quantity I used to take, not like now. Now I use it every day, right? Because of the knowledge I got from you, right? So that soy is not bad. It's not an enemy. It's a friend.
Yeah. In fact, when it comes to breast cancer risk reduction, I would even say, from a lifestyle medicine perspective, you can't
Volume
hear me
gone.
now? Can you
We
hear me
are
now?
trying, guys, a new platform between Simran and me. So today you will see a lot of challenges. By next 2 or 3 podcast, these lives I think will get better. So bear with us.
Can you hear me now?
It's very
Can you hear
low.
me now?
I can
Very
hear you,
low.
but it's very low.
All right, you keep talking. Let me sort this for a
So,
second.
yes. So, this curried tofu she's making, I remember we created that in 2020. I was in 2020, I went to visit her when she was getting her surgery done. And at that time, we did a lot of R&D on different recipes on soy. So, this is one of my favorite recipes. So, you can make open sandwiches with it. Once it's made, you can. You can have it like toast, have a one of those french breads and stuff like that, bake it, and then you can have it on top, or you can use it as a taco filling or a wrap filling or whatever. It's really really yummy. I don't sometimes I don't miss egg, but sometimes that egg sandwich when you are going away on a trip or something, it's a easy way of to make a sandwich. The same way you can make a close sandwich with you. You're going somewhere for a picnic or something. You can make a sandwich out of it and use it. And now that she added the celery and capers, caper tastes really good, and the mustard. Mustard is another amazing condiment I started using in my cooking. I was not very friendly with the mustard condiment before. Because of Indian palate, you could say, because we use mustard seeds in our kitchen, like a whole, but we never used like condiment using in our food. So that which I learned, I think, from French cuisine from my son-in-laws. Being our son-in-law French, we learned so much through their cooking uh, palettes, their taste buds.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better.
Much better. Okay, good. Yeah, we adopted a lot of the French cuisine, and now we do like this Indian French thing in our house. Um,
Yes, which is
so
cool. I like it.
um, yeah, for sure. And that's what cooking is all about, right? It's adapting to your palate and your taste buds and all of that. Um, and I think one of the things I love about tofu, and this is, I think, when someone's trying to cook tofu, this is usually one of their biggest, like complaints, that it's so plain. It's so plain and there's no taste. But what you got to think about tofu is it's a sponge. So
It's just like
anything that you,
even when you are having chicken and all, it doesn't have its own taste. You have to add flavors. You have to add, with all those. That is also a sponge. Same way tofu, paneer, all these things doesn't have their own identity. You just add whatever flavoring to it. It will adopt very quickly.
exactly. And you got to remember, like my mom just said, everything that you eat comes down to flavor and seasoning and spice. So I used to be very like timid when I put spice. Now, like if this recipe is calling for 1 teaspoon of curry powder, I put a tablespoon of curry powder. So I always over spice. That's what I learned. Not like spicy like cayenne pepper, but like seasoning, like curry powder or like cumin or paprika. Like that's what I learned when I was cooking from my mom. She's not timid at all when it comes to spices, and my entire spice rack is empty when she comes to my house and then she leaves. But she doesn't tell me that it's empty, so I don't refill it, and then I need it when I'm cooking, and then I don't have any. So, but it's okay. We love it because we always get
It's like your pet or your baby. When they cry, then you give it to the mother. So it's your kitchen. So you refill or whatever. I come, I do my job, I get glory from the family, and I'm gone. Not my house, not my kitchen, not my rack.
not my
Right?
problem. Um, so anyways, so back to soy, right? So there's
Yes.
a lot of versatility in terms of what you can do with it, right? So
Right.
here we made a cold we made a cold salad. This could easily be made on the stove, and you can make a tofu scramble, like a scrambled egg, like you would. And you can really do any sort of
So is this a firm tofu? Just a quick question. Is this a firm tofu or it's a extra firm tofu?
This was extra firm tofu.
Okay.
So that was the only one I had. But yeah, there's different consistencies of tofu, and so because with the egg salad, it's kind of more of a softer consistency. If you used a soft tofu or a firm tofu, it would probably be better. But I think this is still going to taste really good. But
Mhm.
anyways, there's a lot you can do. So you can, the softer tofu, like silken tofu, you can put that in a smoothie. You can put it in a mousse, a chocolate pudding. So you can make desserts out of it. We put tofu, sofu. Sophie's my daughter's name. I call her Sofu because she loves tofu. But we put tofu in soups and we puree it so it increases the nutrient density of the soup and gives it a creamier consistency, and it makes it higher in protein. And then obviously we use tofu or tempeh any way that you would use animal protein. So in a saute, in a curry, grilled, barbecued. I mean, however you use animal based proteins like chicken, that's how I would use tofu. So there's so much that you can do with it, which makes it really, really good. I mean, it's very kid friendly. A lot of kids like tofu if it's prepared well, like seasoned well. So what else? We talked about how it's good for breast cancer risk reduction. We talked about how it's good for heart health because it's got a lot of fiber, so it helps regulate your blood sugar control, and it's good for your gut health. It helps manage your blood cholesterol levels. So in all of those ways, it's actually really good for your heart health. And then the other thing that a lot of women don't know, especially as we enter this perimenopause menopause transition, a lot of women suffer from vasomotor symptoms. So things like hot flashes and night sweats and those really irritating symptoms of menopause. Soy has actually been shown to reduce the vasomotor symptoms of menopause,
Oh
meaning
wow.
reduce night sweats, reduce hot flashes. It because of the calcium content, it's really good for your bone health, which is also very important to take into consideration when you're in menopause, along with your heart health, because people don't realize as we enter menopause, and I'm saying we enter menopause because my mom and I are already in menopause. We just entered it in a very different way, which is just like our personalities, very different. Always has to make an entrance. My mom went into menopause after chemotherapy in her 30s, and I went into menopause when I was 32 after I had a preventative hysterectomy. So I went into menopause overnight. And so I think one of the things we don't think about menopause is that as that estrogen level goes down, our risk of heart disease, of dementia, of osteoporosis, of metabolic syndrome, gaining weight around our midsection goes up because estrogen actually protects our brain, our bones, our heart. And so, our nutrition and the way that we're eating can play a huge factor in not just improving our quality of life for menopause, but also reducing our risk of all the chronic illnesses that come with menopause. And I would recommend soy to every woman to reduce her risk of breast cancer and all the things we talked about, but especially to improve her quality of life in menopause. And who shouldn't have soy? Really, only if you have an allergy.
Mhm.
And if you do have breast cancer, I get this question a lot on Instagram. Oh, my oncologist told me not to have soy because they're not sure of the effect it will have on my cancer. Your oncologist probably doesn't have very good, and I mean this in the most respectful way, but most traditionally trained doctors and oncologists don't have education in nutrition. And so they probably have not, they know the latest research for chemotherapy and drugs for your cancer, but they probably don't know the latest science and evidence behind, the food you should be eating to help you reduce your risk of cancer. And so you can
Mhm.
either tell them to, go do the research because there's hundreds of studies on PubMed, or you can find the research yourself and bring it to your doctor. And I promise you, doctors love to read research. And so if you bring it to them, they're going to learn something new. And, then you're going to maybe even go on to save the lives of other people, because then they will learn something new that they can teach all of their other patients.
So,
So,
a quick question. For males, a lot of males say their sperm count goes down and they get male man boobs and all that with soy if they take too much. Your any thoughts on that?
same thing. Phytoestrogens. So, plant estrogens do not work the same as human estrogens in males or in females. So, that's a myth. It does not increase risk of, you know, gynecomastia or man boobs. It does not affect your fertility or your testosterone production as a male. In fact, I added too much salt. uh, so I probably didn't need to add salt. So in fact, the way that men develop things like issues with their testosterone and issues with, gynecomastia or man boobs are things like insulin resistance. And insulin resistance is the root cause of a lot of the chronic illnesses that we're dealing with today, right? And so when you think about what conditions are associated with insulin resistance, think about obesity, having a lot of visceral fat. So, having a lot of fat in your midsection, things like high cholesterol, things like high blood pressure, things like prediabetes, diabetes, heart disease. These are the things that actually, some of the side effects or symptoms of these conditions can be gynecomastia or your man boobs, or erectile dysfunction, or decrease in fertility, decrease in testosterone count, decrease in libido. So those are the things that you should think about when you're worried about this.
No, no, I was one of my friend's son. We were discussing about tofu, and then he brought it up. So I don't eat tofu auntie because of this and that. So
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to say in that situation is that's a myth and that's not what the science supports. There's been tons of human studies in men and women to show that soy is actually an excellent source of plant based protein, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and phytoestrogens and antioxidants. So, if you can't say it like that, then you can just tell them, go do your research. That's not true.
yeah, yeah. I love tofu.
Um,
It's a versatile. You can make it Indian, you can make it Thai, you can make it Chinese. You can now you are making it as a egg salad. This was something new for me. I never tried this way before. But yeah, it's a very versatile thing. High in protein, low in fat. High in fiber. So what else you want, right?
right. It's literally like the perfect food,
So
right?
the
So like,
one block of tofu, one fourth block, if you take, you're getting 14 grams of protein in a day. Most of the people are
actually,
worried
that's
about
in one serving. That's in one serving.
that's
And
what I'm saying.
one block actually usually has 3 to 3.5 servings. So one serving has 13 to 14 grams of protein. But if you were to eat a whole block like this, you know, that's much more than 13 grams of
Yeah,
protein.
no, people are
Um,
always worried about protein. That's another myth. Maybe we can talk about that some other day. That being
yeah,
vegetarian and vegan, we don't get enough protein. People actually don't
yeah.
worry about fiber; they're worried about protein. But that's another topic we can discuss some other day. Yeah. So
All right. Well,
the salt thing dissolved.
yeah. I added more hummus, so now it's much better. Um, so I got this fresh sourdough bread with lemon and rosemary. So basically, I'm gonna toast it. I'm gonna put the tofu egg salad on top. Sorry, Mom, you don't have any. Um,
I will
but
make
this
it.
is gonna be my lunch and my
I have
husband's lunch tomorrow.
I have a dinner party on Thursday. So for I
Mhm.
think maybe for the appetizer I will do this with
Yeah, it's delicious. It's
French
super
bread.
easy. I mean, we were talking this whole time, but otherwise, you could put this together in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this is the end of our live, and thanks for joining. Thanks for watching the replay. We'll be talking about different foods to help you reduce your risk of breast cancer this month. Tofu is an all-star. Highly recommend incorporating it into your regular diet, and please share this
And
with someone who
we are
would
doing all
like
four.
this recipe. Please share it. And then the other thing is, if you want the recipe, then please comment on Instagram. Please comment the word tofu, and you will get the recipe in your inbox.
So I was
What were you
saying,
gonna say?
being a breast cancer month, we can do all tofu recipes this month.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a good day.
Enjoy your lunch. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.